What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Learn How Live business strategy session. I missed out on the past couple of weeks. I was actually in Brazil on vacation, so I missed a couple weeks. I try to do one of these, or at least I want to try to do one of these about once a week on a Wednesday late afternoon, right around, what time it is right now. It's about 5 o'clock here in Utah. So this seems to be like a pretty decent time for me to be able to do this. So this is probably the time that I'm going to try to do these live video sessions, hopefully a lot more frequently. All right, in this episode, like I mentioned in the title, I want to talk a little bit about using virtual assistants to grow your online business. Now, this is a secret strategy that I actually learned from some very well-to-do, successful online entrepreneurs. There's a lot of secrets out there in the entrepreneurial world that I feel like entrepreneurs who are successful really try to keep to themselves. If you look at a lot of YouTube channels of businessmen, people who are teaching online business strategy, they'll tell you a lot of good stuff, a lot of good strategies for the average person. But one thing that I noticed that not many people teach is how to actually scale your personal online business quickly and effectively. Like I said, one of these business gurus was talking about virtual assistants. And it was something that really caught my ear at the time because I was at a point in my online business where I was ready to try to scale a little bit further. I was kind of in a time and a place where, I kind of was doing what I was doing. I was making videos for my YouTube channel. I was posting content on my blog. I had my social media accounts kind of going, but, it was slow. It was slow and steady. And I know everyone says, you got to be patient, and that's true. It does take a lot of patience, but at the same time, you want to find some way to excel the growth and scale of your business. And I'm going to talk about in this episode how I use virtual assistants and how you can use virtual assistants to profitably scale your online business. I want to show you guys where I go to find my virtual assistants. I'll show you that actually just here in just a second. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening to the podcast, I'll talk you through that portion. But let's talk about what a virtual assistant is for those of you who maybe have never heard of virtual assistants. A virtual assistant is basically like an employee for you, but they work virtually. So they're not like at your house or at your office helping you do whatever you're doing. They work remotely for you. When most people are talking about virtual assistants in the online business world, they're probably talking about foreign virtual assistants. One of the most popular countries for virtual assistants these days is the Philippines. Now, the reason for that is, I would say, number one, because there are a lot of very well-educated Filipinos who speak very good English. So that's something that's obviously a top priority, is you want someone who's smart, who's well-educated, and someone that speaks English. Now, the second reason why many people go to the Philippines to look for a virtual assistant is because you can find them for very cheap. So if you were to hire an employee here in the United States to help you with tasks related to your online business, you're probably going to have to pay them at least minimum wage. You probably have to pay them, I don't even know what minimum wage is right now, but you probably have to pay them, somewhere around $7 to $10 per hour to do whatever they're doing for you. Now, in the Philippines, you can pay someone with the exact same skill set for $1 to $3 per hour. So it's much, much cheaper to get the exact same skill set if you hire a virtual assistant from the Philippines. The other thing that is nice about that is you don't have to worry about any sort of tax law or any sort of issues there. If you hire a virtual assistant from the Philippines online, you do not have to W-2 them, 1099. They are not an employee. So you don't have to worry about any sort of tax legalities that come with hiring employees. So that's another benefit of going foreign with a virtual assistant. So let me just talk quickly about my virtual assistant and what they do for me. So I'm not going to tell you who they are because I don't want you to swipe them up for me, but I have a really, really awesome virtual assistant. Now, what she does for me currently is a little bit different than what I had her doing for me in the beginning. The nice thing is once you find a really good virtual assistant, they'll be able to do a lot of different tasks for you. My virtual assistant right now is what she works on doing. She works on transcribing all of my YouTube videos into blog articles. I talk a lot about diversifying your online business, using as many platforms as you can. I've got a video on my YouTube channel about that. But for me, I'm trying to find as many streams as possible for traffic and for revenue. So I've got a growing YouTube channel, and now I'm trying to focus on how I can grow my other platforms. I need to work on growing my blog content, need to work on growing my podcast, need to work on growing my Instagram, social media accounts. So what my VA does is she takes my YouTube videos that I make and she types them into blog articles. If I were to do that myself, that would take a lot of time. It's a very mundane task that I do not want to do. And I just don't have time to write blog articles for my Learn How Blogging website. But I'm already producing daily content, valuable video content that could be written into written content for people who may not like watching videos to get the information. So my VA types these videos out for me into blog articles and uploads them to my blog for me. I don't even have to do anything. I give her the schedule, we work it out, and she makes sure that all my articles are up on my website. It saves me hours and hours and hours of time doing what would probably take me hours a day, and I can pay her to do that for $3 a day. So it's definitely more cost effective for her to do that for me than it is for me to do that myself. So that's just one example of what one of my VAs does for me. I actually have another VA that works for me as well. She's helped me do Instagram growth in the past. So to grow on Instagram, there's a lot of different strategies out there. You know, there's engaging with other people's content, commenting on other people's posts, liking other people's content, following people, unfollowing people. And I had her do that for me on a daily basis. And I could pay her as little as $1 an hour to do it for an hour a day. So like literally for less than $20 a month, I had a person who would personally oversee all of my Instagram growth strategy. They also do some other tasks for me if I have things. I've had VAs design Pinterest pins for me, thumbnails. I've had them write organic blog articles for me, not transcribing, just purely writing blog articles. There's all sorts of tasks that virtual assistants can do. You can find virtual assistants to do almost anything related to your online business. And I'm going to show you here in just a couple minutes exactly what you can find in a virtual assistant. But before I do that, I want to talk quickly about something that I learned the hard way. I think this is valuable information for anyone who is looking to improve their SEO on their blog or website. This is something that was like a major, major aha moment for me and my online business. So when I was first starting my Learn How Blogging website, I was writing blog articles, right? And I was trying to get traffic to my blog. Now I teach about in my free guide that I have on my website, 3 main ways to increase traffic to your blog: Pinterest, SEO, and email marketing. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about Pinterest here in a second, but I want to talk about SEO because that's a really easy, well, I shouldn't say easy, simple. It's a simple way to get traffic from Google to your website. You know, people searching for terms on Google and then they're finding your website. and you can eventually make money from that traffic. So I did a lot of research. I've read tons of books. I actually just bought another book on SEO that I'm going to start reading here shortly. But one of the main things that I learned about SEO was backlinking, meaning to improve your domain authority, you need links from other websites pointing to your website to kind of boost the authority. That's what they call it, domain authority. So I was researching, how can I boost my domain authority? How can I get backlinks? And I found all sorts of companies out there that you pay and they can give you backlinks. I'm not talking about PBNs, private blog networks. Those are black hat techniques that I would not recommend getting into. But there's companies out there that you can pay them money and they will guest post or find a way to guest post on other websites so that you can get a link back to your own website. Here's the big mistake that I made with this, the hard lesson I learned. A lot of those companies will charge you upwards of $150 for one guest post article. And that's for like a guest post on a blog with a domain authority of like 20. Okay. I'm not going to get super into domain authorities, but basically a domain authority of 20 isn't a really high powered blog. It's not going to give you a lot of SEO juice getting a link from a domain authority 20 blog. Yet these companies charge $150 for a guest post, meaning they write a post that they put on that blog and they throw in a link back to your website. It helps with SEO. Okay. So I actually fell for this trap. I was paying a company $150 for every guest post that they got me because those links were valuable for me, or so I thought. I thought they were worth the $150 because I didn't know any better. But then I quickly realized that they were probably using virtual assistants to write the guest posts for the links for my website. And once I realized that you could find virtual assistants that write blog articles for $1 for every 100 words, that they were probably paying a virtual assistant maybe $8 to write my guest post. And they were just finding websites to post them on, which was maybe another $2 worth of work. So they were paying $10 and I'm paying them $150. That's a pretty solid business model if you ask me. And so I was definitely getting the short end of the stick there. So what did I decide to do? Instead of paying companies $150 to guest blog for me and improve my backlinks, I went out, found my own virtual assistant, and I paid them $8 to write guest posts, to write blog articles for me. And then I paid them per hour to search the internet for other websites that accepted guest posts. And I was getting guest posts for like $10. If you take into account an $8 guest post and $2, that is what it took to find the guest post opportunity. It only cost me $10 to get a guest post. And I was spending $150 before. So by doing that, I was able to increase my domain authority very quickly. For my new website, learnhowblogging.com, my domain authority went from like 7 to 25 in just a couple months by doing this SEO strategy. And then I didn't have to spend any time doing anything. Told my VA what I wanted, said, hey, write some articles about this, find some guest post opportunities, and make sure you link back to my website. Done. $8 to $10. So that is a huge game changer for anyone who's looking to improve their SEO. So let me show you really quickly here my favorite website for finding virtual assistants. Let me see if I can do a screen share here. If you're listening to the podcast, you're not going to be able to see this, but if you're on YouTube, you're going to be able to see this. Okay. This is my favorite website for finding virtual assistants. It's called onlinejobs.ph. Now, is how it works here is I can search for any type of, I guess, job that I'm looking for. So let's say I'm looking for video editing. I'm looking for someone who knows how to edit videos for me because I don't want to edit my own videos. So this is something to think about. Maybe if you're like a YouTuber, and you do a lot of video content, but you don't want to spend hours and hours editing, you could pay someone $3 or $4 an hour to edit for you. So you'll see right here is you can find people with skills in editing, video editing. So you'll just look right here on their skills summary. And if you see that they have some sort of experience in editing, you can view their profile. So this guy right here, let's see, he's asking for $4 an hour. He has video editing experience using After Effects and Premiere, photo editing using Photoshop. So I could view his profile, see some more information here. You can see some top skills. Looks like he's got 5 stars in video editing. I don't usually speak in English. So it looks like his English isn't great, but I'm not having him write in English. If I was trying to find a writer, I probably would want someone who speaks really good English. Like my VA speaks very good English because they write for me, so I need them to. But if for someone who's just editing video, maybe you don't necessarily need them to speak very good English. You just need to be able to communicate. So what I could do here is I could contact the seller. You're going to have to pay to actually get in contact and do background checks. There's a pricing model here. I'll show you. If you're listening to the podcast, let's see. The pro account allows you to have 3 job posts. You can contact 75 workers a month. Background checks not included, but it's $69 a month. But here's the thing with that, is what I did is I actually got the premium plan because I wanted to do background checks. So I got the premium plan, paid $99, but I only had it for a month because I just spent, a couple weeks looking for people. I got a bunch of different applicants. I Skype interviewed all of them. So I saw them face to face. We had a conversation face to face, gave them tasks, had them come back and present what they did, basically like a job interview. And then I whittled it down and found my virtual assistants that are doing a great job for me, and they've been working for me for months now. So after I hired them, which only took like 3 or 4 weeks a month, then I just canceled my online jobs plan. And so I wasn't paying $99 per month. It just basically cost me $99 to hire my VAs. What I would recommend doing to anyone who is thinking about hiring a VA is to come here to onlinejobs.ph and look for a lot of different VAs that you might need in the future. So maybe right now you just need like a social media VA, someone to manage your Instagram or Pinterest or something, but also take the time to find a potential VA for video editing, for blog writing, for SEO, for link build, for a lot of different tasks, and keep their contact info. So after you interview them, make note of their email address and stuff, because then after you cancel your Online Jobs PH subscription and 3 months down the road, you're like, ooh, actually I could really use a video editor now. You're not gonna have to go back and pay again to contact those people. You already have like a phone book of good VAs that you've already interviewed, that you already know are good, that you can call when you need them. So that's a little hack there that I'd recommend doing if you are considering getting a VA. Try to get, within that 1 month, try to get as many potential VAs for different tasks that you can. Whether or not you use them all, at least you have them there in case down the road you do end up needing or using one of them. VAs, guys, can save you so much time and help you scale your business. The way I have my business model set up is I don't use any personal money to fund my business. So I have a day job, right? And I have an income from my day job. And then I have a completely separate bank account for my online business. Whatever money I make from my online business goes into that bank account. Whatever money I spend to build my online business comes from that bank account. So it is a self-sustaining online business. And the thing that you'll realize is the smart thing to do with any online business, especially when you're starting out side hustling, is don't take money out of your online business and go buy a watch or go buy a new car, an iPhone or something. Use as much money as you can, if not all of it, to continue to scale your business. 6 months ago, I didn't have enough money to hire VAs. I couldn't pay a VA $100 a month to write blog articles for me. But once I got to the point where I was making enough money from my online business that I could afford to pay a VA, I paid them and I saw my revenues increase even more, allowing me to hire more VAs or give them more tasks or hire more people to do things. That's how you successfully scale a business as a solo entrepreneur. The revenues that you get, you invest those revenues back into your business to scale your business. Hiring help will help you scale your business. And you'll notice that once you do that, you'll actually increase your revenue and income even more, which will allow you to hire more help. That's how businesses are run. If you try to do everything yourself because you don't want to spend the money to hire help, you're never going to grow. You can only do so much by yourself in the time you have in a day. So once you start making a little bit of money, try to find ways to make that money work for you. Invest in programs, invest in software, invest in employees or virtual assistants, because it's going to help you take your business to the next level. If you think, oh, I'm making money, great, I'm going to buy a new watch now, or I'm going to buy a new car, but I'm still going to do everything by myself, it's going to be very, very challenging for you to actually scale to the level of success that you really want to get to. All right, guys. I hope this episode has been beneficial for you. If you're listening to the podcast, I really, really appreciate it. If not, I'd recommend you go check out the Learn How podcast. It's a great listen, I guess, if you don't have time to sit in front of the computer or your phone to watch videos. You can watch these listen to these live business strategy lessons while you're working out or in the car or whatever to get some tips and ideas. Like always, guys, if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave me a comment in the video. Or leave me a comment in any of my videos, or you can email me too. I'd be happy to bounce some ideas. Like I said, I've tried a lot of things over the years and months, so I've kind of started to learn what works and what doesn't work. And so I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Also, guys, if you have any questions about virtual assistants, how to hire one, what to look for, what to avoid, anything dealing with virtual assistants, also feel free to reach out with me and I'd be happy to help you however I can. All right, guys, thanks for watching this episode of Learn How Business Strategy Live. We'll see you in the next one.